Hello, and how are you? And welcome to my chat. Thank you for watching. You're going to give me a minute. I always like to check if if I'm going to be showing okay. So you'll just give me a moment while I wait for you to get on. Just a minute. Bear with me. I'm right here. I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere. I hope baby's not going to wake up, because that's something that he has done before. Wake up on me while I'm doing a live stream. And being it's so late, I don't think I'm going to allow that. So yeah, it's still not on. Yes, it is. All right, so welcome to my vlog, to my live stream. Oops. Welcome to this live stream. I've not gone on live stream for a very long period because I've been staying with my nephew and it has been very difficult. My ears are looking like a pixie. And it's just been difficult to get time, to steal time to be able to come on here and do a live. It's just gotten that much busier. And then for a short period, I was unwell. And then after I was unwell, baby also got unwell. So it became very difficult for me to catch up. And I think I also had some fatigue, because it was very easy for me when I was staying alone to do late night live streams. But and even when baby first came, I was able to do that, but it got to a point where I just became overwhelmed with all the work and everything, and so I was not able to do live streams. So I welcome you. Thank you very much for coming in. And I decided today, because he's taking medicine from the flu and he has to sleep. So I put him to bed. I didn't leave when he was asleep, but it's what time now? It's almost 11. He should be asleep. And if he's not asleep, he's going to have to sleep, because the more he sleeps, the better it is. And he has a nasty cough, so he needs to be warm. And when he's here, he's still playing late, and that wouldn't be good for him. So as I said in my intro, and for this, is that March is coming to an end. I hope it has been polite to you. I hope it has favored you. I hope it has gone well for you. For me, I can say that it was my birthday month, and it favored me in so many ways. As I turned 60, I've had a month where I've not had anger issues, I've not had regret issues, I've not had moments of sadness or pain, or just uncomfortable moments. And when a whole month goes, even if it is most of the month, because the month is not yet over, we must give thanks to God and appreciate God for, and heaven, thank heavens also for our health. I've been watching lately, I think I said this in one of my recent videos. I've been watching what on social media, posts by people who are undergoing serious health complications, and it brings it bring it gives you an alert, and also brings you to sanity, to remember to be thankful for your health every day. uh, I know I had the stomach problem, that was a bit of running stomach, but that was nothing compared to what some of the people I've been watching on social media posting about their health statuses, what they're going through. And also, we must remember, first of all, I must say I'm very sorry for the people who've been caught up with travel issues, wherever it is in the world that you are, because of the ongoing war in the Middle East. And I must also say I'm very sorry for the people who are within the Middle East and places where the war is going on, and you're unable to move because you're there for work and you have commitments, financial commitments to take care of, but at the same time, you must remain in zones that are unsafe for your own security, and also because right now flights are just a total mess. I know it must be so heartbreaking for someone making a decision as to should I leave work, go back home, and then I'll not get this opportunity again. At the same time, I'm staying here. It's not safe. So if you're in the war zone and you're having to stay on and you don't have much of an option of living because you'd rather stay on with the option of earning because you know where you came from is so difficult. I'm very sorry for the trying times that you're going for, waking up every day with a lot of fear, waking up every day feeling terrorized. I mean, having bombs landing around you, having warnings being given. I've been looking at the harrowing tales people are giving about where they are living, and it's very unfortunate. And we give thanks that we are in a place that is safe so far. So far, we must keep saying so far. With this war, it's always a question of so far because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And I'm thankful also for all the people who are doing good deeds, even within the war. I mean, people who are being heroes and heroines, giving information properly and risking their lives also to save others and helping in any way whatsoever. On the home front, the rains reduced. They've not gone away, they just reduced. We still have flooding issues, and very sadly, we lost the lives lost have just increased in number, but we continue to thank God that the devastation isn't any worse. We know it could be worse, and that I must go against my usual and congratulate government because though it has forcefully made people move from their homes, it is also to save their lives. And that's a good move because prevention is better than cure anytime. And we don't want to see a repeat or even worse of what we've seen so far with the floods. Coming to my usual village of interest, Nyabohanse. At this rate, I think I'm going to be almost be considered a reactor because I'm always reacting and talking about this village. But it has a particular affection to me because it's YouTubers and I'm a YouTuber and I like to watch, and especially because they're young and I like to watch what they're doing. So since the demise of the young man only Mayani, his friends and subscribers and people from all over the world have chipped in and are building a house for the widow who's expectant and who sadly is underage. That's another thing that um, is of so much concern, but again, it is what it is. This is a region where underage is below puberty. But if you've attained puberty, you're capable of getting married and you do get married and the custom allows for marriage. So this young lady, thankfully, has been assisted so much. The contributions and the pulling together of minds and finances is helping to hold up the situation within the home until the interning of the late, which should be happening this weekend. And I send my sincere condolences again to the friends and the relatives. And we continue to pray that when the time comes for laying him to rest, all will be well in this village, which has become such a place of unprecedented activities and reactions coming up that at the last moment anything might come up that is going to jeopardize things. But we are praying for safety, we are praying for calmness, we are praying for a very smooth um, happening so that he's being laid to rest is going to be without chaos, is going to be without anything untoward happening. I've not uh, I've not been watching so much of local news. I watch news every day, yes, and it's of course it's the usual rhetoric after the sad incident we watched. Was it last 2 weeks or so of our leaders exchanging words? I don't want to talk about the latest happening that's been happening, but things on the political side are not very comfortable, are not very good for us here in Kenya. I mean, there's apart from the mudslinging, there's uncomfortable scenes all the time. But I must praise our Kenyan youth for signing up to be able to vote That is a very big plus that I'm happy about. I'm happy to see. And it's good that they are cautioning us, the older people, that when it comes to that hour, we should be very careful. And I saw one who was jesting on social media and talking about how we older people are so shameless, keeping on going to meetings where we are chanting the wrong thing. I don't need to say it here. Um, so yes, we are going to be careful. Yeah, our young people, I can assure you, not all of us are singing the one issue. Yeah, not all of us are singing the two issue. I'm sorry. We are a lot of us are in the one issue, and we are going to behave when the time comes for voting. So keep on reminding us, keep on cautioning us, and we're wishing you well. Keep on getting your cards and ensure on that day when it comes, as somebody says, it's not just about a question of getting your voters card, about getting registered. It's about turning up on the particular day, because in the last elections we had so many people who are registered as voters but they did not turn up, and that just jeopardizes things when it now comes push comes to shove, and then numbers have to speak, and some of these things don't help at all. So we'll be praying for our youth. Yeah, our Kenyan youth are at the helm of setting pace for movements nationally and internationally, and so I give praise to them. I saw that the is it the United Nations or is it the International Criminal Court accorded accepted to have slavery identified as a crime against humanity. And I was thinking, what are the implications of that? I haven't gone deeply into that, but I'd like to know what that is going to mean. Will it mean compensation to Africa? Is it going to mean compensation to the Americans, to the Black Americans? Is it going to mean what are exactly what the implications of that? I don't know, but I'll be looking at this closely as it unfolds. It was just announced, that came as news to me, but news that I didn't know how to take. I know there must be something positive about it, but I'll wait to see how that goes and how that stands to benefit us. Because yes, of course, those are the atrocities that were committed, the crime that was committed, the learning that we are doing from and unlearning of what happened during the slave trade is just as bad as the Epstein files, and even worse in some instances. So, it being declared a crime hundreds of years later, let us see what's going to come out of that, what the implications are. And of course, such when such pronunciations are made, then we must also put into context consideration of what's going to happen to persons and nations right now that are propagating war and other crimes also against humanity and against other nations in the near future, because I anticipate that justice should not delay as long as it has for this issue of slavery. Justice should be seen to be carried out much faster in the years that are coming on an international scale. I don't know, about, we can't talk about national because that is so varied and will depend on so much. But on an international scale, I'm hoping that this sets a precedence so that war crimes can be decided and judged much faster and investigate. I know the goodness with investigation right now of any sort of crime that is international is that it also with social media working as an aid, and also working to get so much, to get information and to get proof. It's synonymous with a lot of what do you call it, evidence. Yeah, evidence, collection of evidence. So social media has helped a lot, a lot, and so getting evidence is of no problem whatsoever. because that is being provided in real time. The only question is the courts, the international bodies that are set to be able to sit and decide these cases. There's still a delay. There's still partiality that's exercised, in my opinion. So, but we hope for good. We hope for development. We hope for improvement. Yes, that's on the national scale. Schools are about to close in Kenya, I think. Yeah, I think exams for the primary level, since now we don't have the standard exams, but we have continuous assessment tests. But I think schools are about to close, since I don't have a child in school, but from what I know, basically they're about to close. And then this is going to bring hordes of children out, and it's going to be another worry for parents. I mean, things are getting so expensive. Ah, my goodness. I can't imagine people who have young families now. You have to be so keen with your finances. You have to be so keen with your planning. You have to be so keen with your savings, because all life is so different. It's so different from when we were bringing up kids. I think we had it lucky. Even if we thought we had it tough, we had it lucky compared to you now, you younger people now, in your 30s, 40s, who have children 0 to 18 years. Yeah, it's very much more difficult. But again, you also have opportunities. Younger people now have opportunities of earning that we did not have. Oh, the spectrum of available options of income earning are so wide, so wide. Oh, it's so impressive. It's nice. So if somebody keeps on crying that they have no way to start, they have nowhere to start, they don't know what to do with themselves, you are just not taking initiative. Full stop. Nothing else. There's nothing else you can talk about. Young people now, you have to have innovation. You have to be thinking on your feet. You have to be moving. You have to be making things happen, and you have to be trying every single day. There are opportunities, you just have to look for them. If you're sitting down and hoping to be given a job, hoping to be given an opportunity, you're going to wait and you're going to keep on complaining, because every day, every minute, every turn I take, I see testimonies, I hear testimonies of young people talking about how they had reached the end of the road, and then voila, they just sat and thought, there's nobody but me against the world. So I have to make something happen. And they sat up and made something happen. We are no longer in the era of your parents, those of us who are older, who are now in our 50s, 60s, 70s, and so on, who could rely on getting a job as the main means of earning an income. Right now, you have entrepreneurship, you have online work, you have self-start business, you have home craft, you have home industry, the works. You have supplies to do, you have so you have to get up on your feet, get busy, and move on. And I'm wishing you all luck. Those of you who might be struggling so much, I'm wishing you luck. And all I can say is that you have to make it happen. You have to move. You have to stop having fear. Fear is another thing that holds people back so much. So if you're still in your young, if you're within your youthful years, ages of what, 18 to 35, and even 45, I can say, but you're still stuck and you're saying you can't find a job. Sometimes, you inhibit yourself. You tell yourself how difficult things are, and you tell yourself so much until you start believing it. And somebody else in a similar situation of similar age with less what opportunity than you have is able to make it. The only difference is that they push harder. So you have to push yourself harder. That's all I can say. I noticed with my YouTube analytics that when I do live streams, this is very interesting, because part of the information that we are given, I think I've said this before, is what gender is watching your shows, and you can watch all the breakdown of gender, age, nationality, what else? The demographics are given for the viewers to your channel. And so when I do live streams, I have a high number of men watching my vlogs or watching my live stream, a high number. And when I do general chats, just my daily life, my j- stuff around the house and all that, I have more women watching. I also have a lot of youth, ages 25 to 35, and also lower, preferring when I'm concentrating on giving my opinion about stuff. So I have to start learning how to strike a balance, to make sure that each clique of people is getting uh, getting satisfied, while without compromising on concentrating too much on one thing. And then I'm very grateful. I think I said this in my last video. Spanish is the second most, people who speak Spanish have the second highest demographic of persons who watch my channel using translation. So I'm very thankful, very much. I'm very, very thankful to people who speak Spanish who follow my channel. There was Kiswahili before, and then Kiswahili dropped off, so now it's Spanish. And then, of course, we have countries for a very long time. United States had the highest viewers to my channel, and I think I made a complaint to my Kenyans. Wa Kenya hoye, nashukuru. And now Kenya is leading way, 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 way all the time. I mean, by a big margin. And I appreciate that. Yes, I'd like to have people from other countries watching my channel, but a lot of times I speak to issues that are so so rooted to home here and among my people and concerning my people. So I'd feel good knowing that a lot more Kenyans are watching, because it's about us Kenyans. It's a Kenyan about Kenyans. So I appreciate. But at the same time, of course, I'm very grateful that I have people from far off countries, far flung countries, watching my channel and finding anything interesting about it. Because sometimes, yes, I might speak about international stuff, but a lot of times I speak to stuff that is very relevant for Kenya and for Africans. Yes. I said that I must not fail to talk about something that is very precious very close to me. I'm a mother of girls, and so uh, the issue of interracial marriage just comes up because it's something that is common and is growing in Africa. And I always say that I like to speak to Kenyan girls and about Kenyan young women married by especially Europeans. I do not have an issue with Kenyan girls married to people of other nationalities at all. I'm very, very okay with Kenyans married to Americans, with Kenyans married to Asians, to Russians, but Europe, there's a problem. There's a problem, and it's a big one. And I'll keep on singing about it. I have the freedom. This is the internet. And YouTube gives me allowance to talk about what my opinion is. So I'm able to speak about it. The issue of children in interracial marriages, and before I only spoke of girls married to older men, but okay, yeah, because they're my main concern. They're the ones I've seen a very big challenge with the. I shouldn't call it a challenge, a problem with how they relate to being addressed, to being spoken to about this, to people making comments to them. And what I said in the beginning, it still holds true. And in my opinion, from the ones that I watch on YouTube, things are just getting worse. I mean, I look at some of the marriages that have been on for going to 3 years. Most of them haven't even reached 5 years. But I can see a hopelessness in the girls. There's only so much you can do if you don't work and you sit at home and do YouTube and do content creation. There's only so much. I can tell you there is only so much. And it doesn't matter how much money you have. If you're not working, you're sitting at home, you're not starting a family, your man goes to work, you have all the money, you don't have to be wealthy, but you're not lacking food, you're not lacking shelter, you're not lacking anything, but you have a limited social life. And I think I keep on talking about this. For me, it is so worrisome. Why do these girls have such a limited social life? I'm watching some of their channels and I'm like, are these girls, what kind of life are these girls living? Seriously? Seriously, I pity them. Completely, I pity them. Yeah. You've been enslaved in a little cocoon where you're just, yes, you're getting your paycheck from YouTube, which again has become mixed up so that they are now earning together with their husbands, I should think, because all the channels change names so that they are sharing the channels. But there's just something wrong. There's just something wrong, and it's not in my place to give any more advice because I've also seen that some have taken to reacting to comments of persons like me who talk about either they are not starting families or they're not mingling about a bit more or they're not having ability to work and all that. Take it negatively and then come and do some very um, I'd call them ridiculous reactions. And of course, sometimes when I look at that, I'm like, yeah, I know this is hitting at people like me and others who are making comments and are talking about this publicly. But very unfortunately, it's to their loss, not ours. And what I have is pity for some of these girls because I'm seeing them getting into situations where soon they're going to get depressed. And I know a lot of times they're just acting. Some of them are just acting. They're not happy. There is no way a 20 to 30-year-old is going to stay locked up in a house month after month after month after month. And the most you can do is go out only when you're with your spouse. And if you go out, you're just going out and doing nothing out of the ordinary. You're not doing anything that young people do. You're just going to go shopping, or you're going to go to the doctors, or you're going to go to sightsee alone, which is not any fun. But I'm not seeing these girls being with friends, being with their peers, doing any business, trying to do something. Older women are even doing better. Older women married in Europe are posting and they have exciting lives. And that is why some of us are talking about why you're not having families. Oh my goodness. I really pity these girls. I pity them. And I pity the parents who are sitting back. And I know these are some of the unsaid things that a lot of the family members are watching and saying. It doesn't matter how much money they're being given in way of support by the girls or their husbands. Money will never make up. And again, I must say, with all due respect, that it is not a criticism for not having children because every people have different reasons why they are not having children. But again, I must say that watching them because doing what content creation every day, exposing almost 75% of your life to us on an almost daily basis makes us get information about what is on the ground, about what is the reality between behind your delays, how healthy you are, how not healthy you are, if you are having problems or not, if you're capable of this, if you're capable of affording, if you're not. You are telling us it to us without telling it, without saying it. You're showing it to us, you're exposing it to us. So we have every right, and I don't think I'm alone in this. We have every right to look and say, This couple can very well afford to have a child or two or three. This couple can very well afford to start a family or to have this young lady start working or to start a business or to travel a bit, to travel home for a break for a short while or to go and mingle with more friends outside of just the friends of the husband or to have a hobby or but not content creation. No, 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 no. You cannot tell me that a person who is capable, who was working, and a lot of these girls, thankfully, had careers. They were working, even if they were at subordinate level when they were back home, but they were into employment. They were into active entrepreneurship or employment. And so when you are taken by this man and he marries you, and you go and sit down, sit, cook, look after this person, sit again, do some content creation, do some cleaning that is just basic cleaning. Because I mean, when you come from Africa, oh, cleaning a European home is a walk in the park. Huh? So I'm so worried about these girls. I'm so worried. And nobody can convince me anything. You cannot sit down idle year after year and then claim you're busy, looking after your husband or looking after. Why in heaven's name are you not able to do something more productive beside content creation? And then the content, you can even see the content is a no-brainer completely. And that is because they are also not having lives, exciting lives out of being together with their husbands. You don't have circles of friends. You don't go to festival. Europe has got so much going on at every moment for youth. And that's why I keep on saying that my concern is for the girls who are married to older men. Because even if you're married to for heaven's sake, I'd expect to be seeing them going for concerts once in a while, going for plays once in a while, going for open market days. There is a problem. But like I said, because I've seen some of them reacting in such ridiculous ways, to come and it's like to chide or to ridicule back at critics like me. Um, so it's their life, but I wish them well, and I'll continue pitting them from my seat down here in Nairobi, Africa, as a concerned African mother, and wish that favor and wisdom may shine upon them and lead them to better places. Uh, we've got elections coming up, so there's preparations for that. Politics again. I said I don't want to talk about Kenyan politics. It's so messy. It's just a tiresome thing. For myself, because I haven't started any of my economic activities yet. Because of largely because whatever I wanted to start has been delayed by having the baby here. I can't be here with hi Tyler. I can't be here with the baby and then also go out to do much. But in a short while, I'm going to be able to do that, and at least I'll have something, because I realized that sitting down and waiting for my YouTube channel to get monetized is going to drag on. At this rate, I'm just at 200 subscribers, and some of the shortcuts are going to be so difficult. It's going to be very difficult. So I'm just going to stick to my plan, my beforehand plan, and try and not try, but make some of the plans that I had come to be. Immediately I take a break from baby, or I have someone come here to help me with him, so that I may be able to move out more. I may be able to, because I delay a lot of things because of having baby here. Having a toddler is a lot of work, and me being alone without a house help, without a nanny, is very tiresome. So come April, which is just in a few days, I'm going to make a harsh decision to be able to make an arrangement so that I now embark on one of my income earning projects. and also get into one of the training projects that I need to do for my own skill development, which is one of the goals that I had set for this year. So wish me luck. We used to wish luck by crossing fingers. So wish me luck. Yeah. Besides that, I'm very happy. We have good news in the family, at least. We have a marriage coming up, and I'm looking forward to that. My younger brother is going to be wedding soon. He's already made traditional introductions. So this is something that we are looking forward to, a celebration, some dancing, a lot of eating, and our cultural, because it's going to be cultural, it's going to be, they are always so full of beautiful tradition. I keep on saying we have harmful tradition and we have useful traditions. And wedding ceremonies are some of the, because in Africa we call them introduction, because it's a marrying of two families, not two individuals. Not unlike the Western marriage, which is a marriage of two individuals. But in the culturals, in the African tradition, by culture, we call it an introduction because it's an introduction of two families to one another. Yes, Tyler, I've seen. Thank you very much, and you're welcome here. I appreciate. So it's a marrying of two families. The family of the young man and the family of the young woman are coming to make vows to one another that their children are going to take care of one of each other, and each respective family is going to take care of the child from the other family, and you're creating bonds so that offspring from this union are also going to be catered for by both families, and that in coming years and in coming generations, it's a promise, it's sort of a pact that where possible and whenever possible, this clan or this family and that family are going to support one another, are going to be there for one another, are going to stand for one another, not just the children, but also the extended families. And so that's why when there are disagreements or when there are issues that crop up within couples who have had these formal traditional introductions, then the peacemaking is called by elders from each side. A lot of involvement of family is included, and also in the upbringing of the children. That's why you find it very common that, unlike in the West, okay, let me not say unlike in the West because I don't live in the West, but in Africa, it's very common that children will keep on talking about going to the family on the mother's side, the family on the father's side, having festivals on both sides, having cultural festivals, or just whenever situations arise, whenever there's celebrations, whenever there are other things that are happening in their lives, both families are included. And so you have to have aunties, uncles, cousins, grandmas on both sides, and always differentiating, this is from that side and this is from this side. Thank you. If you're watching from America, I appreciate you're my second highest viewers. You used to be my highest viewers. That's just something I've been saying, and I appreciate it very much for all of you who are making it possible for me to get a rise not only in viewers but also in numbers. So I'll be looking forward so much to my brother's wedding, that upcoming wedding. Of course, it feels nice to have, my sister-in-law has been with us for many years. This is just the formalization. And I'm so glad because she's somebody who has a very beautiful soul. She went to school with my daughter, so we've known her much longer. She's more than a sister-in-law, she's more than an aunt. She's also just a loving family member, a beloved family member, and a sister. So we're just formalizing something that was formalized in our hearts a long time ago. But again, this year I'm also anticipating so many other things, to do some reunions of relationships that I can't say had gone sour, but have been silent, with some people in my life, and I'm hoping that that is going to go well. So April for me is such an anticipatory month, and it's the month where I'm going to be in prayer so much. And I'll invite you also to pray for me to face the challenging things that I have to go through, because that's the month when I said that I want to kickstart the year without holding back. If there's anything I want to do, I'm not going to procrastinate. I'll go forth, and the worst that can happen is that I can fail to do what I intended, but I'm certainly going to give it a try. And so April, I have stuff lined up that is very difficult, that is very challenging to me on a personal scale, on a spiritual scale, but I'm going to do it. You only have to try, and trying is better than sitting back and saying, I feared to do this and I wasn't able to do it. I'm happy that my viewership has gone so high. We are now at 45,000 views since the channel started. Sometimes I know I say I have 45,000 views and people are thinking, whoa, no, 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 no. Channel views are separate from subscribers. Subscribers are growing. I'm now at 202. It's a slow growth, but I'm appreciative of it. And I've also seen that when I go live, when I'm telling people my true story, my unedited story, when I'm giving my true opinion, my unedited opinion, because when I do a stream like this, and then I go behind the camera, and then I go back to the phone and I edit, I cut off stuff that I had said because I'm like, no, 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 this one I shouldn't tell. No, 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 I don't think this I should put here. I edit bits and pieces and leave just the clean cut. But when I go on a live stream like this, I'm just telling it as it comes. If there's something wrong, I'm going to say I've said it, but I try in as much as possible to ensure I don't say something hurtful or something that I'm not very sure of, or something that might come out as offensive, or that might be in any way also possibly not safe for somebody or for myself. So yeah, that's it. Um, I remember I did a vlog not very long ago about the kadamas. Kadamas are the house helps, are the nannies that are Kenyan who work, not only Kenyan, they are Filipino, there's Kenyan, there's African, but kadamas, especially kadamas and house helps, house managers and nannies from Kenya, when they go to the Middle East, they've suffered gross human violations that have led to loss of life, that have led to um, total disability, that have led to mental health issues, that have made, and it's unbelievable the amount of cruelty that Kenyan women have suffered at the hands. Um, Let me not say that I wish it was, I could say, I was saying that it was at the hands of men, but it is men, women, and children from the Middle East countries. And the horrifying, absolutely almost unbelievable tales of the sheer hatred, the sheer apathy, the sheer mistreatment that these women go through um, leaves me wondering. Leaves me wondering. So right now, when we are watching the Middle East, and I know this has nothing to do with the war that is going on, but the heartlessness of some people on such a large scale, there's a relation. There's a relation to it, because more and more as the war is continuing, and as it has been before, even before it was involving the whole of the Middle East, but when it was involving just certain countries, I've come to notice that there are sections of the world around that area where people gain, breed, and make custom a hatred towards another people, to the point of viewing them as animals. And I'm choosing my words very carefully because this is my personal observation. And from the narrations of the women who've suffered injustice, suffered near death experiences, um, and what I've seen from the occupiers of the land of when I say the occupiers of the land, I don't need to spell it out. If you know, you know. There's a similarity towards the level of hatred that in my line of activism, we talk about segregation to marginalized people. And I've always thought it was the worst thing that could happen. And the segregation we talk about, I've realized on the local scene here within Africa and within the marginalized people that I so often present is nothing, is nothing compared to what the nationals of some of these countries that are at war right now feel and hold in their hearts, because their hatred is born for generations. It is something they talk about. It is something they encourage one another. It is something they celebrate among them, among each other. And very unfortunately, it's something that they breed continuously to coming generations, that you have to hate these people, that you have to dislike these people, that you have to do the worst that you can to these people. And I just thought this was something that I should mention, because more and more sometimes people are not understanding why we are having wars, why we are having such hatreds, but it stems from people who are able to collectively hate another people and encourage one another down to upcoming generations to instill the hatred, to instill the need to hurt and the need to crush those other people, whoever they are, and for reasons that totally do not make sense, to dehumanize those other people. And this is why, for the war to stop and in future not to have such wars, we need to have mind shifts across generations, across entire nations, because these are ideologies that are instilled in people, that are instilled to the younger age, that children, as they get to stand up and walk and learn to speak and learn to be influenced. We can't even call it propaganda, because at that age they're just learning. They are taught, that is taught to them, that these are not people that you should like, you should respect, that you should treat as fellow human beings, that you should ever have respect for. They're people that you should look down upon, you should tread on, and you should dislike, and you should never give any favor. So, for the world to change, for peace to be upheld, the mind shift has to happen, and it has to be enforced on nationwide levels and extent in certain countries. Until that happens, I do not foresee peace coming. And even if it comes, it's going to be short lived, or it's going to be at face value, as it has happened in the past. And then behind the scenes, we have all this trail of paperwork that talks differently from what is being shown to be peace that has been reached, that mediation has worked between certain warring parties. It's very unfortunate. So, yeah, that's just my opinion. And I know that behind every word there's the untold story. But more and more, because of social media, we're getting to learn what the untold stories are. Getting to learn what the underlying causes of the wars are. We're getting to know what is being looked for, what is being forcibly needed from nations who are being said to be antagonistic, yet it is something that they are refusing with, which somebody else wants. It's a question of greed. It is greed all the way through and through and through. And it is that the world has allowed people to have uncontrollable power using the masses, not using the masses, what can I say? There's a hopelessness among the masses to control the few who are in power, or to ensure that the laws that are are are, um, are running can put limitations to how much of the power that is held by those at the leadership, at the helm of most of these nations and holdings. I can call them holdings because it's even nations right now are becoming like businesses for a lot of people. But until we're able to curtail the powers of those at the top, it's going to be very difficult to control peace in the world, because what is happening more and more is that those at the helm of leadership are taking control and doing taking actions that are totally against the will of the people. So the majority, it doesn't matter what the majority thinks, but the few who are in control will go out, utilize the funds, the finances, and the economic power of their nations against the will of the people, endangering the people, putting into jeopardy the future well being of the people in terms of not just economy but security, and then just run with it. I mean, like kids at play that are playing dangerously, and there's nothing that the onlookers can do. Who you can't call the parents, but the caretakers, because the citizens are the caretakers of their country collectively. It's not just the leaders at the helm. Those are just people who are temporarily there and then they are going to leave. And they leave all the destruction at the hands of the nationals to now carry the burden of doing repairs, sometimes for years, sometimes that is impossible to make amends with, and then later on carry burdens of regret, burdens of sadness, burdens of sorrow, burdens of apathy that has been created with people who might have been otherwise closer to them as allies, as brothers, as kin, because even a lot of these nations, you find that they are these relations, bloodlines flowing through across the nations, but because of the territories, they had to be separated at a point. But when war comes between them, then blood has to fight blood, brother has to fight brother. And later on, when centuries have passed, when years have passed, people sit down and regret and look back and say, we were kin, we were blood in the beginning. What happened to bring this? So more and more, the call is on us to work from an individual level. Sometimes you have to stop being part of the crowd so that you can do your little bit towards humanity to enhance peace, and also to talk against and to talk out about the evil that is being done by those at the top of the leadership, so that in every little voice that carries somewhere, if it can influence one person to think differently, it helps. Or if it can help to collectively come with other voices and be able to allay something happening that is bad, or prolong something, or prolong a decision that might end up in that decision being reversed, that was going to cause harm and to cause destruction, then all the better. That is, when you look at cities that were so great that have been devastated, when you look at a whole country being torn down to pieces, to shreds of ruins, more and more we must start considering that this could be your town next. This could be your country next. It is decisions of people up there, and the more of us keep quiet until we get angry enough, it's going to keep on happening. That you are going to see cities getting flattened, and it is happening year after year after year, and no one is listening to the cry of the people. So, could you imagine what if it was in your country? It starts getting flattened. The first month, you're wailing, crying, making calls, flying out. How many people are you going to fly out in a family? No matter how wealthy you are you going to do it to the third cousin, to the fourth cousin? Are you going to do it down to the workers, down to the second generation? No, 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 no. There must a stop must come to it, and each of us has an individual and collective responsibility to speak out against what's happening in the world, and to speak out especially about poor governance and poor leadership and impunity and ridiculous assumptions of apathy towards each other that lead to war. What happened to negotiation? What happened to dialogue? More and more, we must do everything in our power to try to influence, even if it is only one person, to talk peace, to look the other way when there's been a slur made or anything else, but more so to speak on behalf of those who cannot speak right now because they've been crushed beyond the limit of speaking. They can only cry. They've cried until they've stopped crying. And I don't need to give examples at all. I see them on social media every day. And I'm like, look at this. It's even become like a game. You know, you're swiping sadness, you're swiping unaliving, you're swiping crime with full evidence to people who are seated and talking in power and having birthday parties with their families and traveling across countries, and nobody's holding them against borders. And it's been taken for granted that it's okay, it can happen because this person has diplomatic immunity and all that. No, 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 no. We must try as much as possible to speak out against this evil and to influence in whichever way that we can for this to stop. Not to pause, to stop. Look at ceasefires. Ceasefires became a joke. Ceasefires became a total joke. That you have a ceasefire for negotiations. Why are you holding a ceasefire and not ending the war? And there's nobody listening to the cries, and you have a ceasefire, and then another few days later, you hear a school has been downed, you hear a hospital has been. No, no. I feel it is my just duty not to come here and talk about how, oh, I went to make my hair and I was feeding baby today and I went to the hospital. These are privileges that I wish were common to everybody across the world. But right now, there are people who cannot even take a step to go to hospital. But they've had, and all around them, people have injuries I cannot even talk about here because a missile landed in their area, maybe on their house, maybe near their house. There are people who don't know how they are going to reach their relative because they've been called. And you can't even talk about what they've been called and been told that's happening. And yet there are people who are still living, but who are under so much stress, trauma, and they need immediate help. And they can't get to them because the road has been bombed, the bridge has been bombed, the hospital has been bombed, their cars have been bombed. There's nowhere to run, there's nowhere to hide, and there's nowhere to pass. It's not what I want for myself. It's not what I want for my neighbor. It's not what I want for any country. But as long as we collectively keep quiet, the more of us that keep quiet, the longer this is going to continue. But the more of us that speak out against it, the more of us that are aware that something is wrong somewhere, that some people are wrong, that there are people who are not supposed to be seated at certain levels of governance in whichever nation across the world, in whichever council across the world, in whichever organization across the world, the more we speak out against them and find forums where we can name names and name places and name incidents and share information and share facts and share evidences. The more we can do this, the better it will be for all of us. Because, like I said, today it's them. Tomorrow, maybe it is you or I or our place or your place that is going to be in the news. And that's where it's going to end, just being in the news. It will just be another news item while you're weeping and wailing and crying and very sad. I said at the beginning I would not like to talk about sad things, and this is not just talking about sad things. It is stating facts, and it is playing my part in highlighting what's happening in the world and hoping to God that peace may be found in any way whatsoever, on the home ground and on the international level. And my little two bit is that I can come on here and speak just a bit about it, being as hazy, being as vague as possible. But to the listening ear that is concerned and knows what's happening, then they're going to know what it was that I was talking about. And I hope it reaches someone that makes a decision someplace, and it may touch your conscience and help you to make a decision for the better, for peace, for that will help to save a life somewhere, that will help to reduce the amount of damage that is going to be done somewhere, that is going to help in any way for a negotiation to be arrived at, or at least a dialogue to be begun. I'm wishing you well. May God bless you and guide you and protect you and meet you at your point of need. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe and follow for more, and I appreciate you coming to my live stream. I appreciate you very much for watching my vlog. I'd advise you, if possible, to watch my playlist and then get more of my opinions, see what it is I have to do, and then follow me on a daily basis, just on my usual daily vlogs. And please interact with me in any way you can. You can leave a comment, you can leave a like, you can share, or you can watch my shorts and then see clips of what it is that I've posted as videos. And so from Ruai in Nairobi of magical Kenya, it's bye bye.